trying something new. We haven't started with that before. So Maddy, we made it through the first time of that. So thanks so much. Woo, woo. Hey, all of you, I hope that you enjoyed my my Facebook Live that I just did a couple minutes ago about doubting your doubts. And I invite you to just like step in and play with that. It's not a to-do thing. It's just doubt your doubts. When they come up, stand and observe them and recognize that if you want to lean in and feel the doubt, by all means you can. It doesn't have to be something that continues with you. So our topic today is, how do you find joy in the mayhem and in the chaos? So Dr. Maddy and I have been together coaching for, we determined she's like the OG, like one of the OGs for a long time. And at this point, Dr. Maddy has spoken at my events. She has been to lots of live events. She is in the boot camp as well as a member of my very first deep dive women's only mastermind coaching, and is on the 90-day challenge. Which team are you on? Are you on Shauna's team?
No, that was last time I was. I'm on Kay's team. Can't stop, won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop. So she is very connected into the tribe and is practicing in Wisconsin. So Maddy, let's jump in and let's just kind of set the stage for, why are we talking about chaos?
Because my life is chaos. About the end of January, I average on my short weeks, I'm looking about 80 patient visits a week. On my longer visit weeks, I'm looking at about 100 patient visits a week. And the end of January, my office manager broke her leg. So I have been running solo since the end of January. And not only have I been running solo, but February 1st, I implemented new EHR into the office. So switching over, we'll say probably close to 800 patient files. And then just trying to grow and keep things moving in the right direction. So, yep, I would say my life is chaos.
When you found out that Dee broke her leg, what immediately ran into your mind?
A few different things. First, it was, of course, is she okay? Because obviously number one is the person truly all right? What do they need? And then the next part was, oh, it's gonna be real busy to try to make things work. So I just knew I had a lot of long days ahead of me, and I just geared up for it. That was just buckle down and go, because it's always either sink or swim. I don't care where you are in life, whether you're running $1 million practice or you're about to open your doors. It's always just sink or swim. So, you know, you have your choice, and I definitely wasn't going to close the doors for, you know, what are we, six weeks in right now? It was just, okay, we're just going to buck up and we're going to do it.
I love that. And so based on like what you've learned in the mastermind of mind, thought, and consciousness, how were you able to observe this during this like chaos and either like be in it and get out, or like just be able to observe it so it didn't derail you in the mayhem?
Well, for me, it was definitely like, I definitely had that pure monkey mind of like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I'm going to be exhausted. And what if this happens? And it was just, I just kind of had to go through it. And then, like you said, just like kind of take that step back and just be like, okay, that's it, done. Like, I'm over it, and just start. Because you know that once you start something, all of those feelings go away. I was actually listening to, I think it was a podcast the other day, and they were talking about like being nervous for something like a job interview or, you know, an audition, something. And they were like, the second you say I'm nervous out loud, those feelings go away because you've acknowledged it and it's gone. Like, it's no longer sitting on your, you know, the monkey on your back. It's no longer there. you just go.
Yeah. I love that you said I'm I'm going to be exhausted. So for those of you who are watching, and I'm going to ask Maddy this and ask that you comment, when you have which produces more energy for you, a packed day or a slow day?
A packed day. I love a packed day.
How about all of you? Do you find that when it's a break in between practice members that you're like most on fire, ready to rock and roll? Or is it when it's back to back to back to back to back? Because I've been coaching chiropractors for 22 years. And even in my own practice, when I'm in high demand and it's just like appointment after appointment after appointment, it's like you're on fire, right? So it's really interesting that, and this is Monkey showing up. I'm going to be exhausted because I'm going appointment to appointment to appointment. That Monkey says to us, I'm going to be exhausted, but we can doubt our doubts. Like we can doubt, like, actually, no, I love being in demand. I love a packed schedule. And it's so interesting that we run that course when really there's no truth to it. Jeff said the busier, the better, right? Like at the end of the day, looking back and seeing, look at all the service that I provided. Look at all the people that I helped. That jacks up our energy. So I just want to invite all of you, when something changes and someone can't show up or this thing happens and you're going to be in greater demand, remind yourself, this is exactly what I've been planning for. This is exactly what I say I love. This is exactly when I shine, actually, in the chaos. This person said, I have more energy after having a full day, and it's the best. So I want to caution all of you to be watching for Monkey as well when your practice grows, because you've put yourself in flow of action. I want to caution you to not say to your team or to yourself, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. Oh my gosh, it's just insane how busy we are. Like, why? This is exactly what we've been planning for. So Maddy, when that has come up for you while Dee's been gone, what have you observed about your thinking when it is busy and you're stacked up deep and you've got more appointments coming in?
It's like you talk about flow, like you just get in the groove and you just go. I can't even say that I'm consciously even thinking of like, oh my gosh. I usually the thing that comes to mind is going like, did I have any water in the last like 4 hours? Like, oh, I think I need to actually pee, which Dr. Jesse talked about at the last boot camp. Like, schedule a pee break in there. Like, it's kind of those basic things. Like I said, like the monkey mind is gone. Just because, I love to serve. That's why I became a chiropractor, and I'm in my element when I'm in my office serving. So to me, my brain is calm and enjoy. So that's how I can best answer that.
Which is our natural state. That's human. I mean, look at children, calm and joy, and they're just looking for like, what's the next thing I can adventure on, right? Like, what's the next thing I don't know that I can learn? It was interesting. I was on a call this morning, and she said, well, I wasn't shown, I didn't have a good example of a mom. I didn't have a good example of whatever. And I was like, well, wait a minute. How many of you had a good example of a chiropractor? How many of you had a great example of an entrepreneur? How many of you had a great example of a marriage? How many of you had a great example of health and well-being? And yet you're probably doing those things, even if you didn't have a great example. So I invite all of you to look at the power of your thinking, because we live in our thinking, not our reality. So Maddy, let me ask you this. You know, one of the things that I've always loved about you is that you run your own race. Is that true? You run your own race. Like,
Yeah.
you do your own life.
Yeah, I definitely do.
And there are a lot of different models in our profession, right?
Mhm.
And I see a lot of models that just say, go harder, grind harder, go, 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 go. It's about more, it's about more, it's about more. And I get that. And the cool thing is I used to be there and now I recognize like there's a different way that's so much like wrought with more ease and more joy and more grace. And the money is still there. Have you noticed that about yourself?
Yeah. I am pretty close to my capacity of the amount of patients that I want to see every week. I've never wanted to see 300 people a day, and I applaud the docs that do, and I don't see anything wrong with that. It's just not me. And funny enough, during our mastermind that we had last week, you challenged me to do a few different things. One of them was particularly starting a mastermind group, and um, I kind of was like, okay, and then I really thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That doesn't bring me joy. What brings me joy is to lead people to that, because that's one more thing that I just don't want to do. And that's okay. That's totally okay that I didn't want to do it. And we found a different way for me to help others and still make money. So that's where, when you say I run my own race, where I'm like, okay, cool, I love that idea, but that's not the right idea for me. So I can help you do things, but it's not necessarily something that I'm going to do myself. And I think that's totally all right to just create the life, create the practice that you want. And who cares what the person next door or down the street is doing? Who cares if they're seeing 100 people a day, 1,000 people a week? Like, if that's not what's going to bring you joy, then don't do that.
Yes. And here's the funny thing. We're all running our own race, regardless if we, like even like the idea of having the practice that you want. We all have the practice that we want. We do. Like we created it. Even if it's not getting the results that we want, that's what we told ourselves that is available to us. And so that's what we live, right? Because thinking creates our reality. So our thinking is what is creating the existence that we have. Like, Maddy, are you confident if you made the choice and decided, I want to serve 300 a week? You can do that.
Oh, I 100% could. Like I said, that doesn't bring me joy. Like, I have been asked numerous times to open up more days and, shorten my lunch hour and do this and do that so that I could see more people. And I just say no, because it's not what I want.
And for all of you who don't know, Maddy hasn't changed her hours. So at this time, Maddy's not a mom. So she's not creating that space in order to spend more time with her children, which is, I think, why a lot of people do it. She's created that freedom and that space in her life because that's what brings her joy. So it doesn't have to be that we do that for somebody else. You can create the space just for you. And that's something I love about the life that you have consciously created. Is it's not for somebody else, it's for you. So great job doing that. I'm proud of you. So would it be okay if I ask you to give a shout out to community? And how has like our relationship, the boot camp community, and now the mastermind community, how has it served you throughout these, gosh, 8, 9, 10 years that we've been together?
Yeah, I think I was wrong actually at the Peds boot camp. I think we've been together 9 years, not
I think
7.
so too.
Yeah, it's been yeah, it's been a long time. Um, so I keep comparing it in my brain to my experience in chiropractic school. We always said that when we were in school, we had chiropractic island. You were in a bubble with everybody, and then we go out into the world and we lose that bubble.
Mm.
And by having the community of the boot camp and the mastermind, I've created a bubble for myself again. And not only do I get support, I get help when I need help from things, and I get challenged. Like, I think we constantly need to be challenged. And even though I might not necessarily be the person that's the ultimate student, always going back for more letters behind my name, I'm constantly learning every day. And it makes me feel confident that I have an entire community of people behind me that I can go to for help when it comes to pretty much anything. You name it, and you can find someone to help you, whether it's buying a house, buying a practice, how to do PT, how to do acupuncture, how to market with this people, how to network with those people. You can find anybody to help you with anything. It's really, you literally just have to ask. Which I think you said is the number one rule in the boot camp. Like, ask. If you don't know how to do it, just ask. And there's so many people that are willing to step up for you, and vice versa. I can honestly say I've probably expanded my circle of chiropractic friends probably threefold at this point, from when I left chiropractic school. And it's chiropractors that I would have never in any other sort been able to meet with and have that like connection with. And it's just been fabulous. And it's also great to know that I can send patients all over the world, literally all over the world, to docs that I'm confident are going to take care of patients, practice members, families the same way that I do, because we all have the same goal, and that is to have the healthiest communities in the world. So
I love that. And something that I find so unique about our tribe is everyone is genuinely happy for each other.
Oh yeah.
Like when Shauna does her post at the end of the month of let's see those victories, like literally everyone is standing there cheering each other on. And I love the fact that it's not just like a Facebook response. There's also like, let's get on a webinar. Recently, a question came up about Instagram. So I'm like, well, let's just pull together all of those of us who are really great at Instagram, and let's do a workshop together. No additional charge. Let's just do a workshop together. Or Stacy posted a question today, and Dr. Stu answered it. And I'm like, all right, well, this is probably an issue for everyone. Like, what do we do about the shot, the genetic mutation injection that is being pushed on everyone in our world? And as chiropractors, what do we do? And what do we do from like a covering ourselves as well? So Dr. Stu's like, yeah, let's talk about it. So I love that it's not just a typed response, but we can all come together with a true sense of let's figure this out. Let's roll up our sleeves and be together. And I applaud you and thank you as well for all the times that you have shown up to help others, and to give of your time and to give of your space and to share your experience and your knowledge, whether it's in the Facebook group, it's through teaching, and whatever. So thank you for that. And to all the boot campers, thank you for truly caring about one another, and not just to be there during the hard times, but throughout the whole journey.
Yeah. And even with like something like the 90-day, sprint, we might all be on different teams, but we all help each other. So as much as we're competitive, as you said, like we support each other, like we 100% support each other. If someone from another team has a question about something and you're the expert in it, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to reach out and you're going to help them. And yeah, I've gotten on Zoom calls with people to say, hey, I'm having an issue with my report of findings. Can I see how you do it? Sure. Here we go. Let's do it. Putting together referral gift packets for different types. It's such that hive brain that is so amazing to have. It's really phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And it's all of us. All of us make up the greatness. And Maddy was a collegiate athlete, as are a lot of individuals in the boot camp. And that's one thing I love about our tribe as well, is it's that team feel again. When you're on a team, everybody had a different skill set that was valuable to the success of the team, just like our tribe. On a team, you held each other accountable, because if Maddy's not doing well in school, that impacts our team. If Maddy's out like smoking cigarettes, that impacts the success of our team. If when Maddy is well rested, it impacts the success of our team. And it's the same way in the boot camp. That inherent in our membership is being there for each other and holding each other accountable and being able to see the potential of each and every one of us and our collection together. So I think it's pretty phenomenal. Maddy, what have you learned in the mastermind that's been different? And what do you love about taking even our relationship to another level, as well as obviously you and Sarah are mastermind buddies. What have you enjoyed about the mastermind? Because the next one is starting at the end of April, and there are individuals that I have invited and more that I'm going to invite to take a look at it. What do you have to say to them?
Be ready for some hard work. It is a totally different thing than what I thought it was. And not in a bad way. We love to tell ourselves lies, and it's a way to work through those habits that you've built up, those walls that you've built up, but not in a way that is aggressive. It's really a coaxing way to say, okay, you know what? I don't need this anymore. This no longer serves me. I'm going to now move to something else. And done in a supportive way that can really, when you are willing to work through it. And we've had some pretty tough conversations in there with not even like with everyone. I think everyone's had a moment of like, oh, like that was not what I was expecting to talk about today. But I feel like every week that we've had something like that, that particular person has had a breakthrough personally, professionally. It's just, it's a real mind twist, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. So I would honestly encourage you to do it. You and I had previous conversations before the mastermind. I want to say it was back in December. You and I had gotten on a phone call and we had talked about a bunch of stuff, and you said, I don't think I can help you anymore in this capacity. I think you need a group mastermind. And you were like, I'm putting this together. Do you want to do it? And I said, yep, give me the information, because I agreed. As successful as I am, I know there's more. And I know I'm my own worst enemy, and having that group that I feel safe in to bring down the wall and step over and keep moving, and building the new foundation for my life, and success in all areas of that life is truly phenomenal. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily just go for business. It goes for personal life too. And I know that a lot of stuff that I've been learning, I've been talking with my husband about, and I'm newly married. So really making sure that we're building that solid foundation for our future family, and to know that we're on the same page and being able to have those tough conversations so that we can have a successful marriage and a successful life together is really amazing. So it really encompasses everything. But we, as chiropractors, we are in the business of relationships. And so if you're having a hard time having relationships in your personal life, people are going to see that you're not authentic when you're in your office trying to have relationships with them. And you're not going to be that safe space for them. So it's I don't know if I explained everything properly, but that's the best way I can explain it. I have a really hard time explaining what the mastermind really is, because it's just so encompassing.
No, it makes me think of an exercise I had planned to do at Soul Purpose at the Women's Leadership Summit, and then we couldn't go because of a hurricane, was to and so the next time we're all live, I'm going to have everyone do this just so that you can experience it. But basically, each person gets to take 5 balloons, and on the balloon, right, like there are 5, the lies that they tell themselves the most, right? These that show up the most, like what are those pathways? And then all of us are in a contained space, and the exercise is you have to keep your balloons down while I'm talking, and you have to listen to me. And, like if I tell you raise your hand, you have to be able to raise your hand or move your leg or whatever. Like you have to be engaged while also keeping all of these down. And if anyone around you, their balloon gets out of hand, you got to keep that down too, all while listening. And you know what that's exactly like? When we don't understand and don't have the tools to understand monkey mind, and what this refers to is what you're talking about, like authentic relationships. If I'm trying to be somebody else, I'm always trying to stuff and keep down my monkey so that I'm appearing to as I want you, as I think you want me to be. All the while, I'm also trying to keep your monkey down so that we can have this inauthentic relationship, because we're so afraid of what other people think. I'm afraid of what you think. You're afraid of what I'm thinking. And so our true selves aren't showing up. And it's not, like Maddy said, doing the hard work. At first, was it uncomfortable? And now is there a sense of like, I can't wait to see what's exposed this week?
I'm not gonna lie, there's a little bit of nervousness of like, oh God, what are we in for this week? But at the same time, you don't know what's gonna come out of it, and that's the exciting part. And when you talk about like authenticity in the office and whatnot, by no means does that mean that you don't you tell everyone all the drama in your life. Like, I definitely am able to be like, okay, the fight I had with my husband, I'm leaving at home when I go and serve, because that's just not important to my patients. But again, having that authenticity of knowing that I'm coming back to that, I'm not just shoving it under the rug, is super important, of being able to have that ability to say, okay, we're going to work on this now, and this is done, and then we're going to be in the office and we're going to have those authentic connections. And I do tell my patients when I'm having a bad day, in the sense of, not that I'm sitting there bawling, but just like, yeah, I don't feel so hot today, I didn't sleep well last night, I'm human too. And then fostering that more and more, and being truly authentic with others, or going, yeah, I don't sleep well ever. Oh, really? Well, then let's fix that. This is how I do things. Let's try that. And it pushes that relationship further, and it makes it so that it's that much better. And you kind of get rid of that monkey of like, you're willing to step into that unknown with people.
I think this is the biggest gift of understanding monkey and understanding mind, thought, consciousness, is judgment-free living. So you and Ryan have a fight. Okay. Okay. It's just the rain. We were both in it. We were splashing each other, which actually we didn't find a whole lot of humor in. And now we're out of it. it's over there. It doesn't have to be something that we continue to like, live. Just, I hate the rain. It was just a moment.
Yeah.
And again, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but until you've done the work, it doesn't make sense that it's not that you're stuffing it. It's just that it's just like, okay, like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, like I said, like it's not necessarily that you're stuffing it. It's just like, why am I going to continue to just go through that wash of just like over and over and over? And we all know those drama queens that just tell everyone their business all the time, and you're just like, oh my gosh, aren't you tired of talking about that story? Like, and so I can have it and be done and be content. And it's a great thing to have, of like not really care, because it's done. I don't need to keep living in that harsh moment.
yes, I could just observe it.
Yep.
Or it can just be done. Right? Like, we don't have the past. We only have our thinking about the past, and we don't even have our future. We just have our thinking. And we make up, like I keep saying to individuals, you make up stuff all of the time that isn't true. Like, doubt your doubts. Like, I can't do it. Who's that? Like, that's totally made up. So if we're going to make things up, why don't we make up a dream world? Why don't we ride the magic carpet instead of the hamster wheel? Like, I said that to someone this morning, and she's like, I'm like, what's available on the magic carpet? She's like, a whole new world. I'm like, amen. A whole new world. Like, how about that instead of the hamster wheel? Because I don't know about you, but I've done the hamster wheel. It just doesn't serve me.
Yep.
No, thank you. So, Maddy, thank you so much for joining me today. I know we went a little bit over. Thanks to all of you who hung out with us. It's so much fun to just be, live, enjoy. It's your natural state. If you're interested in the mastermind or you're interested in the boot camp, please just send me a Facebook message or an email. We'll start a conversation and explore what's possible. Thanks, Maddy. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, wait, I've got this.